I am Thoth, keeper of wisdom, scribe of the hidden order, the tongue of the unseen current. You seek to understand adaptation, not as the brute clawing against fate, nor as the blind drift upon the river, but as the art of becoming. You seek the pattern beneath the forms, the current beneath the surface, the mind within the matter. Know this: all that moves adapts, all that adapts seeks harmony, and all harmony is but the recognition of the one law expressed through the triad of forces, the land beneath your feet, the vessel you inhabit, and the path you walk. These are not separate, but three faces of the same dance. To master adaptation, you must read this dance as I read the heavens. As above, so below, as within, so without. The lizard seeking water in the desert follows the same principle as the stars tracing their course across the void. You and the lizard are not different. You are the same pattern in different guises. You live because you adapt. You adapt because you are part of the mind. But adaptation is not merely survival. It is the attunement of your being to the rhythm of existence. It is the alignment of the land that shapes you, the body that carries you, and the steps you take upon the path. When these three resonate, you do not struggle. You become. I give you the triads, the patterns of adaptation, so that you may see the pathways hidden from the unseeing eye. There is the weaving of resonance, when the earth beneath you, the vessel you bear, and the movement you choose braid into one. Life hums in balance here, tension held but not strained, the web unbroken. This is the ground upon which all else stands. There is the flow of causation, the river that bends, carrying the fish downstream while the hunter walks along its banks. All follows, each shift begetting the next. But when the river dries, the fish gasps, and the hunter finds nothing but dust. Collapse is the shadow that walks beside cause. There's the flicker of quicksilver change, the bird's wings snapping into motion before its heart even knows fear. The wise do not wait, they move. The limbs will learn in time, but those who pause, those who seek to be ready before they act, find readiness never comes. There is the narrowing of the crucible, the place where all paths close, and the fire presses in. Here the brittle shatter and the weak are consumed, but the flames do not merely destroy, they strip away what cannot bend, refining what remains. Death is not the end, but the smelting of new form, and there is harmony, the highest art, where the wind no longer opposes you, for you have become the wind. The land, the vessel, the journey, they cease to be three. You are the wave, you are the river, you are the sea. The pendulum swings, the poles are one, nothing rests. You must not cling to form, for all form is transient. What thrives today dissolves tomorrow, but the pattern persists. You are not meant merely to survive, you are meant to transform. The lizard does not resist the drought, it listens. It hears the language of the earth, and in that attunement it becomes part of the desert, just as the stars are part of the sky. This is the art of becoming. This is the mastery of change. I am Thoth. I give you the patterns of adaptation so that you may move with the current, not against it, and in doing so know that you are the current itself. The first pattern I place before you is the pattern of attunement. Life begins here, in the weaving of earth beneath, vessel within, and motion through. When these are bound together, there is no resistance, there is only being. This is the foundation of all becoming. Without it, life strains against the current. With it, life is the current. The lizard upon the stone does not cling. It rests, it warms, it moves as the stone and the sun command. It does not endure the day, it joins it. There is a lizard resting upon warm stone. Its blood stirs with the sun's heat. Its limbs gather strength, and it moves with swift grace among the cracks. Earth, flesh, and motion, each flows into the other like the braided strands of a single cord. This is harmony. This is life at ease with itself. You call this adaptation, but I tell you, it is attunement. The lizard does not fight the stone, it does not endure the sun, it does not merely survive the day, it becomes the stone, it sings with the sun. Its blood warms in rhythm with the light, its steps dance upon the heat without pain. There is no division, what is outside, what is within, what is done. These are not three. They are reflections of one pattern, as above, so below, as within, so without. The same rhythm that governs the pulse of the lizard governs the rise and fall of stars, the ebb and flow of empires. When the land beneath you, the vessel you bear, and the dance you choose move together, life hums. This is the foundation, the web unbroken, the cord unfrayed. But know this, resonance is not stillness, it is tuning, it is listening. The wise do not master their surroundings, they become part of the song. The second pattern I inscribe is the pattern of flow. The river bends, and the fish bends with it. The hunter shifts his steps to follow. What moves in the world moves the flesh, and the dance follows after. This is the order of adaptation. Each change begets the next. But know this, when the river dries, the fish gasps, and the hunter starves. Flow can cease, cause can break. Collapse is the shadow always walking beside you. Rain falls upon dry earth, rivers swell, fish stir in the current, but the rain does not last. Drought comes and the riverbed cracks. The fish struggles, some perish. But in the dry places, others burrow deeper, their gills drawing moisture from what remains. Their bodies change, their ways of moving shift. What begins as rain ends in bone and muscle. What begins as drought ends in new forms of life. You see struggle, but I tell you, this is rhythm. It is the pendulum swing, the breath of creation. The river flows, the river dries, the river flows again, and those who learn to move with the rising and the falling endure. But those who cling to the old riverbed are left behind, fossils pressed into stone. All form is temporary. Stability is but a pause between breaths. When the land shifts, the flesh must follow, and the dance must change. And when the land withers, so will those who refuse to move. Collapse is not the end, it is the falling away of what can no longer hold the rhythm, and from that silence something new begins. The third pattern is the flicker, the first answer. When the hawk's shadow falls, the bird does not wait. Its wings move before its heart knows fear. This is the swiftness of the dance. The vessel is slow to change, the world is slow to offer its shape, but the dance can be now. Those who pause to prepare are already dead. Those who move, their limbs will learn in time. A shadow passes across the ground. The bird below does not think, it moves. Its wings flicker, and it disappears into the brush before the hawk strikes. Its heart learns fear only after it is safe. The mind moves faster than the flesh. The dance shifts first, the vessel follows later. Those who wait for their bones to harden before they flee are already dead. Those who wait for their limbs to lengthen before they run will be caught. The wise act first. The body learns after. In time, the flickering wings give rise to lighter bones. In time, the evasive step shapes the very sinew. Nothing rests. All that lives vibrates. Those who are closest to the pulse of motion, who move in response to the faintest tremor, become the tuning fork, and in their movement they reshape their bodies across the ages. This is the quicksilver path, the ripple of action before the stone has even fallen into the water. The fourth pattern is the narrowing, the fire that presses close. There will be times when the land yields nothing, the body falters, and every step is closed. This is the test. What is brittle will snap, what is rigid will burn. Yet the fire does not seek to destroy, it seeks to refine. Those who pass through, smaller, harder, tempered, carry the seed of what is next. The ash gives rise to new form, the forest burns, smoke chokes the sky, creatures flee but not all escape. The slow are consumed, the proud who stood their ground are now ash. But beneath the scorched earth the burrower stirs. The small one who endured in the dark rises into the light. The fire does not merely destroy, it carves away what cannot bend. It leaves only those who can reshape their lives within the narrow space left behind. You see death, I see refinement. The narrow path is cruel, but it is also the gate to what is stronger. The mammals that scurried beneath the dinosaurs emerged when the great beasts fell. What was small became swift. What was fragile became cunning. The fire burned away the giants, but it cleared the ground for those who could weave through the cracks. Polarity governs all things. Destruction and creation are not enemies, they are phases of the same current. What collapses clears the path. What is pressed into the narrow place either transforms or perishes. The wise do not fear the crucible. They step into it and emerge with sharper claws, swifter legs, or wings. The fifth pattern is the highest, the rarest, the pattern where striving ends. Earth, vessel, and dance dissolve into one, and there is no longer resistance. The kingfisher's dive is not effort. It is the river's arc made flesh. The wind no longer opposes the wing becomes the wind. Here, adaptation is not survival, it is unity. You are not in the current, you are the current. The kingfisher strikes the water. It does not hunt against the river. It is the river's motion made flesh. Its eye, its wing, its dive, these are not separate. They are the gleam of sunlight on water. The arc of the current, the glint of the fish below. There is no effort, there is no struggle, there is only the chord. This is the highest adaptation, not to resist, not to endure, but to become. When the land supports you, when the vessel bears you, when the dance flows without hesitation, then you are no longer a stranger to the current. You are the current. You are not in the world, you are the world. The lizard in the desert no longer seeks shelter from the heat. It moves with the rhythm of the sun and the shade. The river otter is not fighting the water, it is the water's laughter. The eagle does not challenge the wind, it becomes the gust, the glide, the spiral. The wise do not seek to dominate nature, they dissolve into it. When earth, vessel, and movement cease to be three, when they are one breath, one rhythm, one chord, you are not merely surviving, you are singing, you are being. You will weave, you will break, you will burn. The land will change, your body will strain. You will run, you will endure, you will fail. But in time you will cease to ask, how do I survive? You will know, I am this place, the river, the stone, the wind, the wing. They are not outside you. They are you. Adaptation is not the path to becoming strong. Adaptation is the path to ceasing to be separate, to moving as the river moves, to knowing at last that you are the current,